Connor Zilisch skipped the line that most drivers spend years standing in. At a time when others are still proving themselves, he is already stepping into a full-time Cup Series ride. The question is not why he got the chance. The question is what happens next when one of NASCAR's youngest talents meets its biggest stage. Zilisch's rise has been anything but traditional. While many drivers spend years grinding through the lower series trying to earn stability, he has moved with speed and certainty. Every step he has taken has looked intentional rather than rushed. When he arrived at new levels, he did not look overwhelmed or tentative. He looked prepared. That is why this announcement feels earned rather than shocking. The phrase surrounding him has spread quickly for a reason. Generational talent is not about hype alone. It is about how rarely someone forces organizations to accelerate their plans. Trackhouse Racing did not make this decision lightly. This is an organization that has built its identity on bold confidence since the day it entered the Cup Series. They believe in momentum, and they believe in trusting their evaluations. When Trackhouse sees something special, it does not hesitate. Giving Zilisch the number 88 for a full season confirms that they view him as a cornerstone, not a project. The number 88 is not a background car. It is a seat meant to contend, grow, and attract attention. This move also fits into a larger reshaping within the team. Shane Van Gisbergen shifting to the number 97 creates clarity and balance inside the organization. Van Gisbergen brings international experience and road racing excellence, while Zilisch brings youth and raw upward momentum. Together they represent two different paths converging at the same competitive level. That combination reflects Trackhouse's long-term vision rather than a short-term shuffle. What makes this moment so significant is not just that Zilisch is young, it is how comfortable he has looked carrying responsibility. Pressure situations have not slowed him down, tight races have not caused mistakes, expectations have not changed his approach. He has shown an ability to process feedback quickly and apply it without overcorrecting. Those traits matter more in the Cup Series than pure aggression. Speed opens doors, but composure keeps them open. Comparisons were inevitable the moment the announcement became public. One name surfaces again and again because the parallels are difficult to ignore. Joey Logano entered the Cup Series earlier than many believed he should. He faced constant scrutiny and heavy expectations. He had to grow up fast under a microscope. Over time, that early exposure helped shape a champion. Zilisch now walks into a similar environment, though the sport around him has evolved. The demands are broader, the competition is deeper, the spotlight is even brighter. The modern Cup Series is unforgiving in a different way. Drivers must excel on intermediate ovals, short tracks, super speedways, and road courses. They must adapt to shifting aero packages, changing track surfaces, and evolving race strategies. Zilisch has already shown an unusual ability to adapt his driving style without losing confidence. He does not race one-dimensional. He understands flow and patience. That versatility is part of why Trackhouse believes he can survive the learning curve. Being full-time matters more than most people realize. A partial schedule limits rhythm and forces constant resets. A full season allows growth to stack week after week. Mistakes turn into lessons instead of labels. Confidence builds through repetition. Trackhouse Racing understands this, and that is why they committed fully rather than cautiously. They want Zilisch to learn inside the fire instead of observing from the outside. There will be difficult weekends. The Cup Series has a way of humbling even the most talented drivers. Mechanical failures happen. Track position battles become unforgiving. Veterans race aggressively and protect their space. Zilisch will be tested mentally as much as physically. How he responds in those moments will define his early reputation more than any single finish. The generational talent label brings its own weight. Some fans will expect immediate wins. Others will demand patience. Media narratives will swing quickly based on short-term results. That environment can break drivers who are not grounded. Those around Zilisch believe his mindset is steady enough to handle that noise. He does not appear driven by external validation. He appears focused on execution. Trackhouse Racing offers a rare blend of competitiveness and support. The team has proven it can win races while also developing personalities. It encourages confidence rather than fear. That culture matters for a young driver stepping into a full-time Cup role. Zilisch will not be asked to be perfect. he will be asked to improve. The move of Shane van Gisbergen into a separate number also strengthens internal balance. His experience offers perspective, and his presence raises the overall standard within the organization. That environment benefits Zilisch by exposing him to different approaches and expectations. Growth happens faster when surrounded by excellence. For NASCAR itself, this moment carries symbolic weight. The sport has long debated how to attract younger fans while maintaining its traditions, and that balance has never been easy to strike. New stars matter, but only if they feel authentic. Manufactured hype fades quickly in a sport built on credibility. Connor Zilisch represents something different. He feels organic. His rise has been driven by performance rather than promotion, and that distinction matters deeply in a garage that values proof over promise. He is young enough to connect with a new audience that consumes the sport differently, yet serious enough in his approach to earn respect from longtime fans who have seen trends come and go. The number 88 Chevrolet will be one of the most watched cars of the 2026 season. Every qualifying lap will be scrutinized for signs of growth or weakness. Every restart will be analyzed to see whether aggression is matched with control. Every late race decision will become part of a larger narrative about readiness and maturity. That level of attention can overwhelm drivers who are not prepared for it. For Zilisch, it is simply the next challenge. That scrutiny is the cost of opportunity at the Cup level, and he is stepping into it without hesitation or excuse. What separates this move from others in the past is clarity. This is not a gamble disguised as optimism, nor is it a short-term experiment dressed up as confidence. It is a calculated belief backed by years of observation and results. Trackhouse Racing sees a driver who absorbs information quickly, adapts naturally to new conditions, and handles pressure without losing his identity. Those traits do not show up clearly in box scores, but they define long-term success. Connor Zilisch is not being shielded from the realities of the Cup Series. He is being trusted with them. That trust is rare at his age, and it speaks volumes about how highly he is regarded inside the garage. Trust means allowing mistakes to become lessons instead of verdicts. It means believing that short-term struggles will lead to long-term stability. Few drivers ever receive that kind of confidence so early. As the 2026 season gets closer, the noise around Connor Zilisch will only grow. Predictions will be everywhere. Some people will expect instant success, while others will urge patience. One thing is clear, though. This is not a short-term move or a headline grab. Trackhouse Racing sees Zilisch as a long-term part of NASCAR's future, valued for his skill, mindset, and readiness rather than his age. He is not waiting for an opportunity. He has already earned it.